Well, get comfy because these people took being petty to a whole new level. And honestly, we're here for it.
So which team are you? If you are loading up $700 in groceries into your vehicle from Costco, and another vehicle is waiting for you because it's really busy, and they're waiting for you the whole time as you're loading up your vehicle.
Okay.
You're getting a little slower towards the end because maybe you're old and fat, or maybe you're just trying to Tetris all that stuff into your vehicle, and they have the audacity to honk at you. Are you team all hurry up, or are you team I live here now?
Oh my goodness, I love this. She's obviously team I live here now, and I love this. I unfortunately could never. I'm such a people pleaser, and I try to avoid conflicts at all cost. But I love this. I wish I could be this person, seriously. My husband is a little bit like this, and I secretly love this about him. Because some people deserve this. Some people deserve others to be petty towards them. And also, when I see somebody loading up their car with groceries, I don't just sit and wait there. I go and look for another spot. I wouldn't ever honk, but that's just me. I just think it's not nice.
I'm having a dispute with my neighbor, and I want to know what you guys would do. So you can see, this is my lawn here. This is my neighbor's lawn.
Okay.
I want to have a fence put in the back of my house, coming down here. This would be my backyard.
Okay.
I knew that this was not our boundary, our property line, but he kept cutting over and over and over closer into my yard, and so I asked to meet with him.
Well, that sucks.
Before I have the fence built, because I was going to build it right about here, right? So it would give me like an extra foot, whatever. He was very condescending and very rude. And kept telling me to get a survey, because I think he believed that his lot was over here and that I was going to lose space. I knew that wasn't true. I knew my lot started about here.
Oh. Okay.
And I kept trying to work it out with him. I told him I didn't want to pay for the survey if I didn't have to. Like, I was happy to give him some space, because there's not a whole lot of space in his yard to begin with. I was trying to be kind, right?
Right.
Nope. Now I want to be petty. And I need somebody to either give me permission to be petty or tell me
You have my permission already.
So I did call a surveyor. I had the surveyor come out today.
Also, I apologize. I might have to mute some parts of this video because of the music and copyright, just so you know.
There's my lines. There's my boundary. That's his driveway. That's my boundary line. You can see it all the way. So
no.
I ended up with multiple feet more than I expected.
That's bad for him.
Multiple. And
agreed.
he's very unhappy, which I don't blame him. He's very unhappy with how close that is, right?
But
I was
that's
at
the
home
actual
when the
line.
surveyor did this. The surveyor sent me these pictures. I have him on my Ring camera at like 2:06, putting my paperwork in my door.
Okay.
By 2:16, these stakes were out of the ground. The neighbor came and pulled them out of the ground.
Can he do
because
that?
he didn't like where they were. So he picked them up and threw them on the ground. And he threw that one, and then there's a third one.
I don't think he can do
somewhere up
that.
there that he threw on the ground. I did send my neighbor a message and told him that he cannot do that again. That's destruction of property.
Okay.
If he doesn't like where the boundary lines are, he's more than welcome to get his own survey that he pays for. He's welcome to call my guy to come back out that he's going to pay for. But he cannot move these again. I put them back where I could see the stakes had been. Put them right back up. So anyway, he just kept saying that I was wrong, the surveyor was wrong, he's going to the city. I've been asking this man for like 2 months to talk about this whole issue with me, and he kept just putting me off. He wouldn't do it. He was not amenable. He wanted me to pay for everything to have it done, and I was fine doing that. He doesn't want to split the cost of the fence, no problem. He doesn't want to pay for the survey, no problem. I got it. So now I have two options. What I'm thinking is either have the fence coming here to the property line.
I think that's what you should
Remove
do,
that tree
honestly.
and just put it there. Or I can cut in where the tree is and kind of do an angle, if that makes sense. Like, I don't know how to do an angle right here over to the edge of the yard and then go straight across. So if this was you, what would you do? Would you be petty or would you be kind about it? Because right now I'm just so irritated. Like, if this is the kind of temper tantrum he's throwing over just the stakes being put in the ground, what's he going to do to an actual fence? So anyway, I
Well,
know
if
that's
he
a
does
lot,
something
but
to the fence,
what would you do?
you can call the
Give me your
police
thoughts.
because that's going to be a destruction of property. Okay, so someone says for resale value, take your property. That's what I was thinking. Like, if you want to sell your house, you will have a problem down the line if you don't take your property, because then you're going to have to deal with explaining why you let your neighbor have a piece of your land. I made this mistake. Fix your property line now and don't feel guilty about it. If he wants to pay you for land and for a lot line adjustment, consider it. Otherwise, he had every opportunity already. Yes, exactly. Yeah, don't feel guilty about it. It's your property. And honestly, I don't even think you're being petty. You're trying to be nice to him. However, I think it's time you claim your own property. Your petty husband parked his car behind the neighbor's car because they are in his driveway. They've been knocking on the door all morning trying to get him to move our car. Okay, and why would you do that? Do we have an explanation? Okay, yes, we do. Let's see.
Hey everyone, back with an update about neighbors parking in driveway.
Update, okay.
So here's the thing: due to the landlord's orders, or however you want to say it, they are not supposed to be parking in my side of the driveway. They actually have their own side, which in a bit I'll show you. But yeah, so this ain't the first time. This has probably happened maybe 4 or 5 times already. I've already talked to them about it multiple times, saying they can't, but they still do. So
Okay.
thing is, this is where they have been parking. This is my driveway.
Being
Right
petty
there.
sounds about right. Okay.
With that, my car goes here. Okay, they're supposed to be parked over there on their side. Well, like I said, they parked in the front right there, and I parked right behind them because we were coming back from a trip, and I didn't give them enough space to really back out. Well, I don't know how,
Okay.
but I guess it took them about 5-6 hours or so. They finally got out. But they just kept knocking and knocking and knocking. I looked out the window, being all nosy. I just ignored them because I was like, I'm not having it. Just kind of being petty, obviously. But that's the general gist of it.
Okay, honestly, I think he did the right thing. He taught them a little lesson. Because what are you gonna do if they just wouldn't listen? You gotta teach them. But then again, I'm enjoying all of this, but that wouldn't be me, unfortunately.
Okay, so I did something that might be a little too petty. You let me know.
Okay.
A friend of mine let me know that his
you know?
wife had been cheating on him for 6 months and had no intentions to end the affair. She's somebody who I had considered a friend at one time. He let us know. He's like, hey, do you mind helping me move out while she's at work? So I drove over,
Of
packed up all his
course.
stuff. We made sure not to touch anything that was hers.
Oh.
But as soon as everything was packed up, I went to the bathroom and I took all the toilet paper. Like all of it. Like I took everything that was on the roll. I took all the backups. Like I took everything. And I realized that in the grand scheme of things, she's probably not going to notice it when she comes home and like half of their stuff is all missing.
Well, she will notice it when she needs
But
the
she'll
toilet
notice
paper.
it when she needs it.
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, girl, I don't think that was too petty. I think that was the right amount of petty. And maybe you should have been even pettier. Someone says, if anything, that's not petty enough. Yeah, for what she did. Yeah. I don't know. I'd have also taken the labels of the canned food. Yeah, you could do that if you had time for that.
I'll gladly take the title Queen of Petty any day of the week. So I had this friend
Let's see.
who told me that I was living in sin for kicking out my cheating husband. I'm sorry, what? She obviously chose him
What?
as her friend over me when we separated. Cool. She sent him a Christmas card addressed only to him to my house this year. Took me a while to figure out what I wanted to do. I threw it away, obviously. He can receive a Christmas card from her next year when I no longer live in this house. Last week, I was finally ready to handle it. So I sent her a Christmas card back. It said something along the lines like, Merry Christmas, sorry this took so long. The girls and I were busy during the holiday season, blah, blah, blah. Your Christmas card was so thoughtful, I wanted to make sure to send one back in return. I pray you have the year you deserve. I'll gladly take the title.
Good for you. I love this. You have the year you deserve.
Can we talk about how petty I was in college real quick?
Of course.
I lived in basically the crappiest dorm in the college. It was probably the oldest building on campus. There were a bunch of us living like on top of each other, but it was like a super bonding experience. So we used to play this thing called wall ball in the dorm, which consisted of us going into the hallway and throwing tennis balls down the hallway, and we ended up breaking some of the really crappy ceiling tiles. You know those like old school buildings that have the ceiling tiles that are kind of like foam, or I don't even know what they are.
Your cat is distracting me.
Like probably 8 or 9 of these things, and then they started realizing, and they're like, guys, if you keep doing this, we're going to make you pay for them. So we got smart, and we were like, let's just exchange some of the broken ones with another floor. So in the middle of the night, we went and exchanged our broken ceiling tiles with another floor's not broken ceiling tiles. So we went from like 9 broken to like 4 broken. But the university still decided to charge us a couple weeks later for broken ceiling tiles. But they decided to charge everyone on the hallway $75. Every single person. So there were like 2 people to a room, 2 rooms to a desk area, 2 desk areas to a suite. So there were 8 people per suite, and there were 1, 2, 3, 4. There were 5 suites. 40 people times $75 is $3,000 they were charging us for these 9 broken ceiling tiles. So they sent us a letter that says, hey, you owe us $75.
$3,000?
And there was an option to appeal at the bottom. Every single person, all 40 people came together, and we all wrote individual appeals. And we went to Home Depot and we figured out how much these things cost, and we calculated labor, and it should have been like $4 a person. And they absolutely were like, sent a letter back to all of the appeals that said no. Like, that was the end of the appeal. It was just like, no, you don't get the appeal. Y'all.
What the?
My petty self wrote my congressman about my public university charging me $75 for 9 broken ceiling tiles. Can you imagine being a congressperson and opening up an email from your constituent that's like, I broke a bunch of ceiling tiles, and they're trying to charge me too much money, $75. I got some like standard email back that was like, yeah, we'll look into your issue, whatever. A week later, we get an email from the university that was like, we may have overcharged you. This is how much labor is this, and this. You guys each owe $4.45. Winning! It felt so good. I did get called into the resident director's office to have a conversation with her because she was upset that I had written my congressman. But I was like, we submitted an appeal and there was no other course of action listed after that. So she's like, you should have had a meeting with me. I was like, I didn't even know who you were. I still remember her name.
Okay, I personally think you did the right thing, because overcharging you by how many percent? I don't even know. I'm bad with math, but a lot. Breaking stuff is not good. However, you were gonna pay for that.
I'm petty, so when this man rudely stormed up to me with his entire family as I'm taking another table's order and was like, excuse me, where is the hostess? And I looked at him with a pen and paper in my hand and I was like, I'm sorry, sir, if you can just give me a minute, I can help you out. I'm in the middle of taking this table's order. He literally rolls his eyes in my face and walks away. I go up to them after I get the order. I'm like, all right, guys, did you want to get a table? He's like, no, we want to get it to go. And I'm like, all right, sir, you can come up to the counter and I can take your order whenever we're ready. Before we can even get there, he's like, the kids will take 2 mac and cheeses. My wife will take a turkey club and I'll take 2 hot dogs with chili and cheese on them. I'm like, all right, sir, anything else? He's like, why are you interrupting me? I wasn't done. So now I'm just staring at him like, okay, go on. He's like, and then we'll take a Cobb salad with no olives. So I'm just standing there staring at him, waiting for him to tell me that he's done. He's like, are you slow or something? I'm done. I'm like, all right, sir, did you want to get any fountain sodas or anything? He's like, you don't need to upsell us, okay? We understand that that's your job, but we don't need it. If we wanted it, we would have asked. I'm like, okay, sir. He's like, is there anyone else who can help us? I'm like, no, sir, it's just me. He's like, what about her over there? He points to the other waitress who's in this busy section. I'm like, sir, she's really busy. I have no idea when she can get over here. He's like, we'll wait for her. I'm like, sir, I could just put your order in. I have the whole thing. He's like, no, we'll wait for her. So since I'm so petty, I never went up to her and told her that they were waiting. So for 25 minutes, I just watched them as I had nothing to do, as he just continued to complain to his wife, like, where is she? Is she really not gonna come over? He went over and told her. I literally went over and told her that she needed to tie her shoe. Sorry, sir. And then they stormed out after 25 minutes of not being helped.
Lesson learned. Don't be rude to your waiter.
Okay, I want it on the record. I'm not telling anybody to do any of these things, and I'm also not saying that I've done any of these things. But if I were to ever try to get revenge on somebody who had done me wrong, these are the things that I would do. Y'all know how easy it is to get somebody's car towed? It's really, really easy. That's all I'm gonna say. This one's lost weight since we've gotten older, and I don't know why. Tell his mom what he did, especially if it's a son that like did a girl dirty. Literally tell his mom. Don't steal his like phone or laptop or anything, but like take his TV remote and his chargers.
Okay.
I dated this guy that was really into the gym one time. He drank protein shakes like every day. I stole the lid for his blender. Between the House and the Senate, there's 500 political people that have call alerts, text alerts, email alerts that you can sign them up for. That one's especially good during election season. If you know his info, cancel his memberships. Like his gym membership, his Netflix subscription, his Spotify, just cancel them. Log in and cancel them. Put the Church of Scientology in contact with him. They will never leave him alone. Again, slashing tires, not cool anymore. You can super glue his windshield wipers though. Okay, that's all I can think of. Comment if you have more, because I think these are really funny.
Church of Scientology. Oh my god. This is wild. But there you go. Now we have some ideas if you need them.
Now, imagine working night shift, 12 hours, feet hurting, hungry, and every time you get here, your food is gone. Ain't food of yours in the fridge. Food just be vanishing like it's a food fairy in here. But joke's on them. Tonight, I put laxatives in that shit. So I'm gonna be watching that bathroom all night. Stay tuned.
Oh man. Oh. Well,
Now I've been
she's
watching
not
her
gonna
for the
take
past
her
6
food
hours. She's the
anymore.
only person been going in and out that damn bathroom. Now she all bent over. She got to go home because her stomach up. Now you can call me petty or whatever, but I bet she won't touch nobody else's food in that fridge. Better go home and get some Imodium. Now I can enjoy my lunch that I had to hide behind the desk. So hopefully when I bring my food in here again, nobody takes it upon themselves to touch somebody else's
Okay,
stuff.
listen. I'd be so mad if somebody took my food. That's not gonna sound nice. However, I hate sharing my food. You know, Joey doesn't share food. That's me. I just hate this. Somebody says, isn't that a felony? Like, buy your own food. It doesn't make sense. Y'all work at the same workplace and you can't even afford food for yourself? No. It's a felony to steal. She won't do it again. That's right, it's a felony to steal. And some people said like, well, you tried to poison her. She might sue you. No, she didn't. I mean, listen, just listen, just hear me out. What if she, let's assume, had a constipation and she just put laxatives in her own food because, you know, she needed to relieve herself. And then somebody stole her food. That's not her fault. Don't get me wrong, poisoning someone is a big no, of course. That's not even being petty, that's a crime. However, in this case, that was her food. Well, I guess you can tell that I feel very passionate about not sharing my food.
I was the lawyer for the girl who got 3 years in prison for getting revenge on her ex, and she said it was totally worth it. She rubbed poison ivy all over the inside of all of his clothes before she returned them back to him after the breakup. I saw the pictures in court. This dude's skin was messed up. She didn't even try to fight the charges. She pled guilty, and when the judge asked, why did you do this? She said, I did it because it was worth it, he deserved it, and I'd do it again. She didn't stop there with the petty. She had an extra car key to his car, so one day while he was at work, she Ubered to his place of business, got into his car, and drove it across state lines so that she could plant some evidence in it, park it next to a fire hydrant, and then hopefully the cops would search this thing before they sent it to the tow yard. That turned into a mess for him because he reported the car stolen. The police found it with the planted substance inside. They thought he was just messing messing around trying to get out of these charges. He was locked up for 36 hours until he could actually prove his alibi. I asked my client why she went through all the trouble, like what did he do to deserve all this, and she said for 4 years of marriage he would not stop chewing with his mouth open. She said prison was actually going to be better than going home every night and listening to him chomp on his food and talk about crypto and NFTs all night. I was the lawyer for the girl who got...
So is it illegal to do the poison ivy thing alone? Asking for a friend? Oh my god, the whole time I was assuming he deserved it. Maybe she took things a little too far? I don't know. Chewing with your mouth open for 4 years straight? Are you serious? God. Oh man. Well, this is what it means taking being petty to a whole new level. Alright, let's be real. Who doesn't love a good petty moment? I sure do. Well, thanks for watching, subscribe, and until the next one.